Hey viewers, and this week we're going to be doing a brand new project which is going to be a very simple fitness app in Figma. My name is Roy, I'm a web designer. If you do find the content useful, please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and let's get into the video. Today we're going to be doing a very simple fitness app, and the more you start doing these type of projects, the more you start designing. Like I keep saying, I'm designing every day, practicing every day, and what you realize is design is not just about how it looks; it's about how it works, as Steve Jobs has said. So it is a good idea not just to design one screen. You'll be designing the user journey and parts of it, or the main screens, and you'll really start to dig into the details, which does get important later on in the process if you start to build out the app. So I think, just to summarize, well, just to say, the main goal is to design a fitness app, which is going to be a very simple app, iOS. So again, just to touch on, when you're practicing on these projects, and if you're just gonna practice and copy and do this for yourself, I think that is great. This is what I do, really. I look at inspiration, which is what I'm going to show you in a minute, the process, and then I try to make it my own, which is basically, if I decide to add it to my portfolio, show it to employers, clients, then you really do have it to make it unique. So simple things is changing the font. I mean, these are little things. The name of the logo, the colors. So those are just little things you can change. You can change the assets, such as images, things like that, if you're directly copying the projects. So I just wanted to touch on that. And now, one of the things that I've wanted to design for a long time is a very simple fitness timer app. And one of the inspirations that I love, as you know on the channel, there's the whole theme, the stuff that I love is minimal, simple design. So Braun, their stuff is just absolutely clean and minimal, retro, simple. So just to give you an idea, when you do an inspiration board, one of the things to do is just to go on the internet. You can go on Dribbble, you can go on Google and just type in Braun. And then what I've done, I've created a folder on the desktop, and here I'm going to just show you the different things that just inspired me to do a simple timer app. And you can look at these as I go through them. These are Braun products, and they're just minimal, clean. And again, you can look at the buttons on there. You're thinking about neumorphism, skeuomorphism, things like that. So we're going to touch on that as well. And again, you can see this type of logo, which is one of their products, very simple. And you got this dial again. And now this one, which is on Dribbble by Mick Scusa, Metropulse. I mean, this is very popular, and you can see on here, this has kind of got the Braun and very minimal, and it's got a bit of neumorphism in there with the shadows. Again, a lot of the inspiration is going to be based off of this app. And as I said, if you're gonna try and go along the project, complete the project, and then the next challenge is to make it your own, put your own style, or just change it and make it your own unique app to yourself. So this is another inspiration. You can see here these little things like the dials and the triangle, tiny things. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just drag all of them into Figma, and this is what I'm basically calling the mood board, or the inspiration board. And we could probably bring that right down to 800. So again, you can just see what the type of style that you want to go for, if this is what you like. Again, this app is probably designing for myself rather than target audience, right? So there's the argument of designing for you versus an audience. But again, I fall into the millennials category. So again, the channel is exploring different trends. And so this is our inspiration board. Could probably put these together really, just so I'm not having to scroll across, and probably make them way smaller as well, right? So but it's nice to see the detail that goes into this, especially with these screens. You can see that he has done different type of screens, and that is a big inspiration. So again, going back, we've done a very simple inspiration board. We're going to do the user journey. So very quickly, hit the F key. I'm going to choose iPhone 11, and what this is going to be is this is going to be the launch screen. Okay, so I'm just typing that. So we're just roughly showing the user journey. The next one is going to be the list view, and this is where they're going to see all the default exercises. The next one is going to be a picker view, which is like a settings view, where they can change the number of sets, the duration, things like that. And then the last one is going to be a detail view, or this is where they actually do the workout. Okay, so this is roughly the journey, and if you don't know how to figure out a journey, one of the best things to do is just to look at other apps. And again, one of my inspirations for this is also Joe Wicks. If you haven't checked him out, he's another fitness coach on YouTube. I've been following him for about a year now. I've been doing his exercises every morning for a year since the first lockdown, and I'm doing his HIIT exercises, which I think is great for my body type, which is ectomorph, which is very tall and skinny. So anyway, yeah. Again, an app to check out is called Seconds, and if you can check that out, that is another inspiration behind the screens that you're going to see. So again, just a lot of exploring, looking at the competition, looking at other apps out there that are doing well, and then looking at inspiration on Dribbble or a brand that you really love, and then now it's just going to try and piece it together. So first things first is the launch screen, right? Now, before I get to the logo, I'm actually going to go through the process of these, and when you end up designing these screens, you're going to end up with a logo. So you're kind of working backwards. So what I'm going to do first is set up the Pomo timer. Okay, so another thing is it's nice to time box your work, and I always say 30 minutes, and we always go to an hour sometimes, but it's good to limit yourself, challenge yourself, and try and get it done within a certain time. That way you have a bit of restriction. You're not going to go spend weeks, months on it as you could do, as I've done in the past. So anyway, so we're going to build a component which is a list item. So just to start off really simple, the very first screen you're going to see is a workout screen or a list view. I'll show you anyway. So name. Now another thing to point out is we're going to be referencing the iOS 14 UI kit by Joey Banks. If you haven't found this is in the Figma community. You can search for it, you can go to assets, and then you can publish it, publish the styles. And if you're on the free plan, which is what I am, you can get the styles, which is the color, the text styles, and I've actually named this Pomodoro. So anyway, so yeah, we go back, and the very first thing is name. I'm going to duplicate that, Command D, and what I'm going to do is just check my battery's not dying on me. I'm going to then search for default, and this is going to be a subhead, and then the next one below is going to be a title. So if we say title 1, and we just say by default it's workout 1, and we want to disconnect that because we want to make that semi-bold. This one we also want to change the color on this, and we want it to be the system gray 1 light. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just combine these two, Shift A, there's going to be no gap, and it's going to be 16 pixels from the left. We're not worrying about the status bar today, so we're going to have a Y of 80. So here we've got the name, the workout, and after that we're going to have list items. So again, what we're going to do is hit the T, and we're going to say exercise 1, and what we're going to do is again go to textiles, we're going to search for default, and we're going to go to body. And now this is where auto layout and everything else can get a bit insane. So what we're going to do is we are going to get all the elements that will be in this component, all the possible elements. So we're going to duplicate that. There could be a time on this, so let's say 0.60 seconds, for example. There could also be an icon, so I'm gonna hit the frame, and what I'm gonna do in that frame is gonna be, did I hit frame? 22 by 22. What is that gonna be? That could be a button, so I'm just putting in button, and in there it's gonna be a circle. Can I put that in the frame? Great. And that is gonna be 22 by 22. We're gonna quickly give it a color. So let's say also system grey lights. And we have to center align that. So now we got a button. So now we got these pieces. We got an icon, we got a time, and we got the name of the exercise. And when we do a list item, there's also going to be a border at the bottom. So we just hit the R, and we're going to make this width, let's just pretend it's 100 because we need it to be fluid. And the actual height is 0.5. When I look at on this kit, you can see that the borders are 0.5, which is interesting, okay? So that color, I'm also going to just make it system grey 1 light, but actually it should probably be a lot lighter than that. So if I go to the fourth one, okay, so that's good enough. Okay, so these are all the ingredients that are going to be for the list item. So what we're going to do then is we're going to start combining them. Okay, so let's think of the way to do this. So this one here, let's just say, let's try this way, right? If I was to go and select all, and if I was to then do Shift A, it's going to go all on one line, which is what we don't want. Okay, so I'm just going to call this list item. And then what I want to do is try horizontally. And the other thing we're going to do is we're going to put this in a frame. So if I was to then go to frame selection, and that selection is now going to be the width of the phone. So 375. Okay, left align. And now what we're going to do is this thing here, we're going to say we want it to fill container, which it won't. So this one here, we want that to fill container, which it won't also, because we need to put that into an auto layout. So Shift A, let's get rid of all the auto bits in there. We say fill container. This should also fill container, but it won't. Oh dear. So this is 375. Okay, so this one, if I say fill container, and let's think. So this and this. Okay, so if I was to put that in a auto layout and get rid of all the paddings, and these three will have to be in an auto layout as well, so Shift A. And now what we want this to do is to stack, and then we still can't fill. So here I'm going to say fill container, and it won't fill container. Interesting. This cannot fill container. This should be able to fill container, but it won't. So I'm just going to say fixed 375. Okay. Now I'm pretty sure you're looking at this thinking, wow, this is a lot of work, and it is, right? Not being no. So here we're going to then say fill container. Okay, so now the reason why you go through this process is you can then kind of have different fluid views for iPad, or even if you're doing a mobile web app, then it could be fluid. So here what I'm going to do very quickly is also have a gap. So these two items, or these three items, let's say there's a gap of 8, and what we also want is a gap of 16 and 16. So 16 on the left and 16 on the right. And then what we want to do is we also want the height to be at least 44 pixels. So let me just remember how we do this. So if I click 44 on here, and this one, we want that to be 0.5, and we want these, we want that to fill container and to align in the middle. Okay, there we go. So now, if I click back on the frame, I want to resize it. Okay, nice. So that is a lot of work, right? But nice thing now is you've got this nice fluid container here. So that's only when you change the size. So for example, if I was to duplicate that, and if I was to increase that, no, it won't. It will not be fluid. But if I was to go, yeah, it won't be fluid. What that means is you just have to type out the width. So 600, and it's still not fluid, oh dear. Because this needs to be fluid, and it's not working. Okay, so what we'll do, we will come back to this another time, right? But I think we are on 17 minutes. What? Can't be. That is amazing. Wow. Really can't believe that is 17 minutes already. Anyway, focus. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this into a component. So Command Alt K. We'll just call that a list item. I'm going to drag that here and go to assets, and we're going to just drag that. This is a long way of doing it. You can just duplicate that, and I'm going to left align this, and then from there I'm going to give it a gap of 24, and I'm going to copy this a couple of times. So duplicate 3 times. I'm going to then do Shift A. So now you've got that nice list, and we're going to do that another time. So duplicate. Now this is going to be a title of settings, and here we're not going to show any of these, so I'll just hide and hide. And this one, we are going to change this to, if I go for default, we're going to make this, let's say, caption 1, and we are also going to change the color to grey. There we go. But also we detach it, we're going to make this uppercase. So you got a nice heading. So settings, and what we're going to do as well is we are going to just duplicate that, bring that down, and then select both, and make sure you have a gap of 24. And this one is going to be exercises. So I'm just going in and type in exercises, and we're just saying we've got about 5 exercises. Okay, so either this could be shown to the user straight away as a template, and what it is the first thing you're going to see is sets. How many sets are there? So let's say default is 1. The duration per exercise. Now this is a general setting rather than setting individually, because I find it's a lot easier that way. So duration per exercises is 40 seconds, and then the break is 20 seconds. And what we're going to do is just hide these because we don't need those buttons. And you hide that, and we hide this one. Okay, so by default sets is 1, duration 40 seconds, break 20 seconds. How many exercises you're going to do per set? 5. And for these we're not going to need these either, so I'm just going to hide and hide. Ooh. So I'm just going into each of these, and what you could do is actually create a variant, which I didn't do. It's probably a lot quicker, but I thought we're pretty old school and we're just playing around, so I'm just hiding these. And this is following quite along with Swift UI in the default stuff that they have, because one day I would absolutely love to make this. Anyway, so here we got exercise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you want to add exercises, so what we can do here is add the button back, and that is going to be a plus. Okay, and the other thing we're going to do is hit the O, and this button, I'm going to say 96, is the main action button. And okay, so if we align from the bottom, let's say we minus about 50, and this is the main button, so this will be like the play button to start your workout. Okay, whew. So we're 22 minutes in, and I think we got the main ingredients there. So settings, name, workout. Okay, that's great. And then the other things we're going to show is, let's say that you were to hit sets and you wanted to change the number of sets, or even the duration. Okay, so let's say sets, for example. So what I'm going to do is hit rectangle. So again, you can see what he's done here, and again taking inspiration from these lines and these dials. So what we're going to do is a bit different. We are going to hit the rectangle, and we're going to give it a height of 300, or actually 400, and the width is going to be, let's say, 5. Center align that. This is going to be a nice big picker dial, so you're going to swipe across as opposed to typing in a number. And the font we're going to use is, if I go here, now this again is where you can pick your own unique font. For me, I'm going with Orbitron. Now if I was to just pick up the size, ooh, am I doing that correctly? Nothing is in there, is that why? Oh, text tool. Okay, so let's say set 10. Again, here we go, auto. Ooh, why is it going funny like that? It is not. Can I go auto? There we go. Okay. So that might be a bit big, so let's say 72. Okay. Okay, so we got that, and what we're going to do is we're just going to Shift A. We're going to make this go in the middle with a gap of 8, and if we were to turn this into a component, so Command Alt K, drag that over here, and we Command D, so now we have a component. Great. Command D 5 times, so actually what we'll do is we will center line, or Command D, and this is going to be a variant. Wow, we could have done a variant, couldn't we? We could do a variant, so why don't I do that? So here, if I hit variants, and this variant is going to be smaller, so let's say 48, and this is going to be a height of 300. And this one, if I'm going back, this is going to be the main, the active. So again, I'm just going to go to dark here. Okay, great. And this one, I'm just going to call this, I'm just going to leave it as variant 2. And that's cool, okay? So what I'm going to do is go back to assets. I'm going to drag another one, and I'm going to choose variant 2. I'm going to duplicate this 4 times, so 2, 3, 4. Go back to layers. I am going to then make this into an auto layout, so Shift A, and we are going to align this from the bottom. I mean, this is pretty sweet. Align in the center. This one is going to be in the middle. So this is going to be number 9. This is going to be number 8. This is going to be 11 and 12. Okay. Now, one thing we got to do is we got to set the widths of these. So I'm going to say it has a fixed width, and that fixed width could be 72. Great. This could also be a fixed width. So again, I'll say fixed, and we just say 96. Center align that. Okay, that is looking pretty good. So again, you can see the inspiration. You got these nice dials and these nice lines, like, yeah, anyway. And here we could vertically align it, but we're going to give it a bit of space, so just go up a bit. Here again, we're going to have a button, so we'll get to that in a minute. Now, one thing that I absolutely love is just these dials. Where is it now? There's a really nice dial, which I don't think I imported. Oh yeah, here we go. So what we can do here is, you can see this is the intention, the line and the dial. So I'm just going to go to triangle or polygon. I'm going to make that 96. And probably the status bar will go over this, which is fine. But I'm gonna then flip vertically, align in the top. Ooh, what that means is I have to outline stroke, align on the top, vertically in the middle. And we can also make that dark as well, right? So that is the active. Actually, going back as well, we want those to be faded out. So this, we're going to say it's going to be, shall we say grey system light 2? Yeah, okay, I think that's good enough. Nice. So I did it for all of them. Way better to do a variant. And what this screen is, it could be the same for duration. So it could be 60 seconds by default, but we're doing sets, so we're going to get the title. So here I'm just going to copy that, paste it. We're going to center align that, and this is called sets. How many sets? Nice, very nice. Okay, and what this is a setting screen. So if they were to touch on sets, they can then adjust how many sets the workout is, and they want to go back. So what we're going to do is introduce some of the icons, which is SF symbols. So let's hunt for this. So what we want is the chevron, and we want to go back. Okay, so if we copy symbol and we just paste it in, and not sure why that is not doing anything. Paste, delete, duplicate that, and then paste it in there. Okay, so I pasted it in there. I think we'll leave it quite large. So these two are vertically aligned, and this one is going to be 16 pixels from the left. So this is just like a back button to go back to the screen. And the under chevrons we're going to need is a plus. Okay, so here we're going to say, where's the plus? Actually, let's go chevron, because we're actually going to, let's go plus. We just copy symbol. If I was to paste it, I want it to go in this screen, but we're going to make this 48, and we're going to make this regular. Okay, nice and thin. You see how he's done it? It could probably be even thinner than that. So let's say light. Ooh, looking very nice. Is that no? So I'm cutting that. I'm going to do Command G to group, and then paste it inside there, and vertically. Okay, sweet. Okay. Now we actually might as well do a component for this. So we just call this button action. Oh, terrible name. Let's just say button primary. Again, very bad names actually. Let's just say button like this, and Command Alt K. So we're going to drag that out. We're creating a nice little library here, or design system, and here we can go to variants, and we're going to need a pause. Let's do another variant. And is my audio still on? Yes, it is. Nice. And this one is going to be next. Okay. So we got some. These are the large ones. Okay. So we not actually need a plus on this, to be fair. So what we're going to need is the play. We're going with the just the lines, so paste that in, and you can see it's not right in the middle, so there we go. And we're going to need pause. Again, we're going for the thin, so pause will become active when you hit play. And we want the next chevron, so again I'm going to go to chev, and we just copy and we paste. Okay, great. Okay, nice. So we've done those. Now we're not going to do a variant or component for this one, but again, what we'll do is we'll go back and we then look for the plus again, which is down here, copy symbol, and in here we're going to then paste it. Can't paste it inside because it's a component. It is a component, I bet you, yeah. So what that probably means is if I go in here instead and go into the button and then paste it in there, it won't let me adjust the master component, which is a shame. Oh yeah, you can. So vertically line that. We're going to leave it as a large size, so it should appear there. Nice. And the color of that is going to be white. Okay, sweet. Okay, same for these. I'm just going to make them white, but we are going to change these colors. But just for now, I'm making them all white. Okay, so we're 35 minutes in. So we got our buttons, and I'm just going to go here and duplicate. So here you can actually start your workout. If I align to the bottom, vertically in the middle, -50. Okay, great. So copy that, paste it here, paste it on here as well. This one I'm going to change. Oh, I didn't name the variant. So this is pause and this is next. So this I want to change it to, I think it's getting mixed up, is it? Wow, these are different, aren't they? Whoa, what happened there? Whoa, that is different. This is a new update maybe. Button, variant 4. Wow, that is really different. So pause, and next. Yeah, that is very weird. Button variant 4. So if I go, I thought I'd just be able to change it, which is what I did for the other ones, unless I'm doing this completely wrong. So let me delete that. Actually, 666, wow. Copy that, paste it here, not sure why. So here, 666, what a lucky number that is. Center align that. This then lets you go next, which is coming back really. So you could probably have a tick icon maybe, but we leave it at that. This one, this is going to be the pause button. That'll be 666. And this is going to be the play workout. Okay. Now, wow. We might set a record actually, we might go over an hour because this is starting to get a bit tasty. Okay, hopefully you're hanging in there. So the detail view is the workout view, and this is pretty important. But we're gonna keep it so simple. So we're gonna hit the O, and we're gonna make this pretty big circle. So let's say 300, and you'll see why in a minute. And this one, there's going to be no fill. We can have a stroke. Now the way we're going to do this is very different. And we're going to say from the center, this is how we can make a clock style. So let's say 5 and 80. Let's see if I remember this. Ooh, nice. And then if I make that 5 width, interesting. As you can see there, we got that nice dial, and we just want to make these longer. Let's say round and round. Now I'm pretty sure those were meant to get I thought those were going to get longer. Say 20. Inside, outside, center. Ooh. So what am I trying to do? I was hoping that these would be lines. Let's say 1. Okay, so 80 looks good. For some reason, this is not sticking out. I wonder why. So if I could just go to none. Ah, okay, none. None, there we go. So we got these nice lines, but we want it to be a bit thicker to 5. And then can we make these round? Okay, no. Let's leave that at that. So we got that, and then the width of these is 8, let's say. well, let's say 16. Okay, ooh, much better. Okay, so we just did a nice clock, and this is the timer that goes round. And again, the Braun products are all simple lines, and oh, that is pretty nice already. Okay, and we hit the T. We're going to say we're starting at 60 seconds. Again, we're going with Orbitron. It's got that futuristic look, which is something I love again. This time we're going to make this pretty big. So 96 is probably even too small, 128. And we're just going to go to auto on that. And we're going to vertically align that. Okay, ooh, that looks nice. Okay, very simple. So we got the detail view and we got the timer going on. They're just two little bits we're going to do, which is how do you know what set you're on? How do you know what exercise you're on? Now, I think audio will be a good way to know, because when you're exercising, you're not going to always look at your phone. So what we're going to do is just copy this, and we're going to duplicate that again. So sets, and then let's say the first one you put is squats. Okay. So let's line these up, for example. So squats, E squats. Okay, so again, we're going to do a little stepper kind of feel. We're going to use circles to be all like how he's done it there. So we're going to go O. We're going to say, let's see how big 16 is. Okay, let's say 24 by 24. We're going to duplicate this 5 times. So Command D 5 times. Actually, that was probably the wrong move. Let me delete that, because we're going to duplicate that one, and these are going to be small. So shall we say 16? Okay, I think 16 is clear, and we're going to duplicate that 4 times, and then we're going to select all of them, do Shift A with a spacing of 16. Is that too tight? 24 looks good. Vertically align in the middle, and then do that here. Very nice. Okay. However, what we need to do on these ones is make these greys a bit more lighter grey. So here you can go here, say system light 3. I'm going even a shade lighter. Okay, that looks good. So again, we're not focusing on contrast too much. And this is the active one. So again, we just go to this one. And here we're going to make sure there's a spacing of 8. So actually, what we do now is we'll Command G to group, and we'll duplicate this. We'll just move it up, and this is going to be called sets. And we're only doing, let's say, 3 sets. And then can I then vertically align everything here? Okay, great. So here we probably match this up, right? So let's say 3, and let's say we match that up as well. Let's say 60 seconds. So all these screens are matching up, because when you do show this to clients and anyone, they're always going to point out things that are not lining up in terms of the data. So it's quite nice that you're going through the different screens and adjusting the data. So here again, you might have heard of the UX law of proximity, where you want to group stuff that are related. So these two are closely together, hopefully, and these two are also close. Maybe if we get rid of the, okay, that's probably too close. And the gap between these two, let's say 40. Okay, great. Okay, so I think we have done most of our stuff. Nice. And again, the buttons, the main buttons are all at the bottom because that is where the thumb is, even though when you're exercising, you probably have the phone on the floor. So anyway, just a tiny thing. So we've actually done our main screens. And then the last thing to do is the logo. Now, you can be inspired by what you see here. So again, what I thought of is keep it really simple again. Hit the R, and we're going to have a width of 80 and a height of 4. Okay, so this is going to be the logo. Right, so if I duplicate this 5 times, so 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm going to then Shift A that, I'm going to space of 4, ew, why is that not happening? Space of 8, weird, that's strange. I'm saying a spacing, but it's not giving me a spacing. Okay, if I get rid of the fill, okay, that's weird. Anyway, duplicate that again. Let's say a gap of 4. No, let's say a gap of 8. So, let me vertically align that. So, we got the lines. So the inspiration, you've got these nice lines, very clean. And the name of this, which I'm thinking again, is very generic. So again, the reason why I keep it generic is because naming is difficult. Again, if you do plan to put something like this into your portfolio, come up with a name that is different to what I come up with. I'm pretty sure it won't be that hard. But the name is going to be called Set Fitness. Okay, so it's just 2 words. And if I hit the T, so when you have a launch screen, it's probably a good idea that if you're a new product, you probably want to put the name, okay, even if you're not new, just so people are gonna know. And we're gonna make this bold, and let's keep the 66 theme, okay, and actually you could probably bring that down more. Okay, let's just say 700. So we got Set Fitness, Orbitron. We're using Orbitron mainly for the display, like the numbers, and we're using the default font of San Francisco for body text. Now this one, again, what we're going to do is, if my microphone's still working, which it is, we are going to make this into the first letter of S. So the way we're going to do that is we are just going to reduce the widths. So let's say 32, and this will also be 32. Okay, and then we get rid of the auto layout. We just select there, and we right align, and we have S. Okay, and I think that is pretty nice and simple and clean. Okay, we're not going crazy with the logo, but this kind of represents the style of the brand. And oh, itchy eyes, we're coming up to hay fever season, I think, in the UK. So yeah, we've done our launch screen, our list view, pick a view, detail view, very clean and minimal. And probably now in the next 10 minutes we can add some color to this. But again, looking at his concepts and Braun, they just have probably one primary color. Okay, so just to give you an example, just to see that we got our black and white version, I'm going to select all of those frames and duplicate and just bring it down. It's nice to see how the design has progressed. And what we're going to do is we're going to choose a color, and the fill of this, the primary color is going to be orange. Orange for enthusiasm. We're going to go System Orange Light. And this as well, we're going to go white. And the white I'm choosing is probably the wrong white. Label color dark primary. Okay, let's just go with that. We'll do the same here. Wow. Okay, so we got that nice and simple Very, very simple. Now I think these might be able to be thicker. Might be me being picky, right? So can I do 8 on all of them? Nice, okay, I think that's a bit better now. And the gap between them, if I hit the auto layout again, let's say 8, get rid of the auto layout, because there, I think that's much better. It's too thin, you can get lost. So that, even when you zoom out now, you can see that quite clearly. So going with orange, and again here, we're just picking out some primary actions. So again, now if I go to the component, it's going to do it for all of them, right? So let's just do that. So here, this is going to be our new orange light. Okay. This one here is also going to be orange light. And all of these as well are going to be orange light. Does it do it for all? No, it doesn't. Okay, so that's fine. Can we keep, yeah, and we got orange light again. The volume is still working, great. So now, if I go down, okay, great. So here we want to make this also the active. And these are also going to be the active orange. So you can see clearly what is active and what is not active. Now the thing is, some people it could be colorblind or the contrast. So another good thing is size. We're making these bigger than these. I think that's pretty nice as well. Okay, so we got our primary colors in, and again it's just looking very clean and simple. And what we can do last is let's do some shadows on these buttons to make them stand out a bit more. Those are the primary actions. That is where we draw attention to it. And this one here for some reason not going orange, so I'm going to go in and go orange. And now the button, what we're going to do is actually make them white. Okay, so if I go here and let's just choose like this, and you'll see why in a minute. My belly is growling, it is lunchtime. And then we go here. Ooh, white looks nice. Whew. And we go white again. Okay, so oh, it just looks really clean. So one thing to do is there is a plugin which is called shadow something. Okay, oh, forgot the name, but I'm going to show you. So right click plugins, and it's called Shadow Maker. Then you see what happens when I right click that. Hopefully it will work. And I'm just going to leave the default in. Okay, that is pretty nice already. You can see that. Apply. Straight away that stands out. Boom. Okay, nothing too crazy. I probably should have done it on here. So if I do it, wow, why not? Why not do it on all of them one at a time? It's longer, but we are having fun. And actually, did I do that on the, I've done it on the whole thing. Okay, so probably don't want to do it on the whole thing. So you can just, we can just minus them. Okay, so let's start again. If I go here and I right click and I'll go to plugins, Shadow Maker. You could probably put a dark orange if you wanted, but we're not going to go too crazy. Apply. Will it do it for all of them? No, it doesn't. Interesting. Wonder why. Wonder why. And did I do that? Did I do the same thing again where I did it on everything? Default. Circle. Okay. Circle. right click, plugins, shadow maker. Where are you? Here we are. And apply. Again, we go to the ellipse, we go to right click, and we go plugin, shadow maker. It's got that skeuomorphism or neomorphism. So many morphisms. Apply. But one of the rules is, oh, look at that, it sticks out now. I don't know why. I think this one I must have detached it. This is a different button. That is a different button. So if I duplicate that one, cut it. Ooh, can I cut it? Cut and paste. Okay, so 666 in the middle. Can I now? Ooh, that is weird. Very weird. That seems to be a different button for some reason. Don't know why. Anyway, so, that is pretty nice. So, little things to do now is just some little tiny touches on the button, and I think we're good to go, right? So, yeah, so here, these little things we can do. Let's do it on the components, okay? So we are going to duplicate that, but that means having the shadow twice. Ooh, that's probably not a good idea. That is not a good idea. So I'm going to just minus the shadows on those, and we are going to have a gradient here, and we're going to go from light to dark. So this one, it will be the lightest grey, system file light. Ooh, nice. Okay, that is looking pretty nice, and it doesn't apply to all of them, so I've definitely done something wrong somewhere. We're going to do the same for these, so duplicate, but we want to get rid of the shadows on those. We're going to go to fill, going to go to linear, and we're going to go from light to the lightest grey, which is there. Ooh, those buttons are starting to stick out. Duplicate that, minus all of these shadows, beautiful shadows, and we are going to then do a linear gradient again. My timer is still working. From light to dark. Okay. Ooh. So again, we go down here. Not too bad at all. I don't know why that one is a weird one. That is a very weird one. It's like different to everything else for some reason. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to say 50%. 50% on that gradient. 50%. Okay, we don't want it to be too harsh. Here, if I go to assets and drag that button, is that the right one? There you go. Okay, you just have to drag it from the assets as opposed to duplicating it. Not sure why that is a difference. So looking pretty nice now. Okay, and we got some little tiny touches. Okay, these are the little things, and you can look into the detail of some of the pictures. So what I've done, I've looked into the detail, and some of them are just absolutely insane. So here we can add a stroke, and we're going to say linear, and it's going to be white. From white to white, but that's going to be 0. Let's say 2. Nice. And you can't see too much detail, but you got that nice, yes, you'll see in a minute. If I zoom right in, yeah, you can't see that, to be fair. It's So again, if I go to, and I wonder why that is the case. It might be because this one is over it. So if I minus that, so now we're just playing around, right? I mean, it's an hour, so we've reached the end, but now I'm just playing around, okay? Now this is the thing, right? You go over the hour, you could spend hours and hours doing this, but I thought it's only the final bit. So if I hit stroke, and if I go linear, we're going to go from white, and we're going to go to white again. That's 0. Let's say 2 pixels. Okay, so it's got that nice white border. And let's add another one. This is going to be, oh, you can't make it go on the outside. So this one, if I had a stroke, this would be on the outside. It'll be 0.5, and we're going to make it down to 10%. Nice. So now that button is going to look pretty sweet. Okay, it's got that really subtle border. And you don't have to do this. It's just down to how you like it. And again, we are just going to do that same treatment. I'm not actually sure how you can copy those treatments over, to be fair. So what I'm going to do, so again, why don't we just do it? So the top one, we have a stroke, 2 pixels, and it's going to be a linear gradient of white to white. And that is 0. So from 100 to 0. This one is going to have a stroke outside of 0.5, and it's going to be 10%. Nice. The final one, again, we're going to have a stroke of 2. It's going to be linear. It's going to be from white to white, and that's going to be 0. And then the bottom one, we can add a stroke outside 0.5, and it's going to be 10%. So now those buttons are looking quite a bit more realistic now, and I think we have done it. We created a very simple minimal app, and again, the little tiny details here, so that looks like it's finished, okay, but another technique, now this is the final one before we go, another technique here is to show it active when it's ticking. And one way to do that is we're going to make these quite light. So let's say, okay, so number 4, but we're actually going to say, is it angular or radial? Can't remember which one it was. Trying to remember which one it was. I think it might be that. Let's see. So orange. Okay, this is where I'm going in my own world now. And we do another orange. And we just duplicate that. Oh, you can't. Wow, you can't do that. You go back. So what I'm trying to show is it ticking visually rather than just all black. So let's see, how did I do this before? So you got that. We're probably going to have another one, which is going to be that grey, which I think I chose as 4. They're going to be sharp together. Yeah. There we go. So let's say for example this is on, it's reached 40 seconds, or let's say 20 seconds, then the ellipse is going to roughly be, oh gosh, this is where I'm doing it totally wrong. You actually want it to be, yeah, so I've definitely done something wrong here. You definitely done something wrong. There's definitely a way of doing it. I can't remember 100% how I did it. That is funny. Angular. Probably Angular actually. Now that I look at Angular, and oof. Okay, Angular. Wow, that complete fluke that is though. So here I'm going sharp, and if I was to go, I'm just dragging it around, right? I'm just absolutely winging it right now. So here 20 seconds, and it should start from there. So again, if I was to bring that around there and bring that there, but we want it to start just completely fluking it. So I'm just winging it. So from there, probably want to bring these in a bit more. Wow, I didn't realize it totally went down a rabbit hole with this one. There we go. Whew, got there eventually, right? A lot of tinkering. But here you can see a bit better that it's on 20 seconds. This is the active color. So yeah, wow. So what are we going to try and do tomorrow? We are going to try and, well, we are going to do a very simple landing page. So again, you can go off, you can do a prototype. I'm thinking, I haven't done a landing page in a while, so I'm thinking of creating a very simple hero section and trying to put the main ingredients which make up a good landing page, and we're basically going to build two important elements of a product, which is the actual product design or the app, and then the landing page or the marketing site. So I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a bit long at the end because of the detail, but I think it's worth it in the end because you do learn a lot when you play around with this stuff. So yeah, please leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you in the next video.